straighten it out. Hello, all you casual nerds. It's story time once again. I'm here to read you a story with my new camera setup. Hopefully everything is kosher. Alright, Jake, what story do you want to hear? Come help me pick out a story.
Okay.
I'm gonna read Jake and you a story.
But mostly me.
But mostly Jake. Oh, this sounds like I can really work well with that, doesn't it?
Which one?
This one. I feel like I can work with that.
You could probably work with that.
Okay. So, today we will be reading Mr. Sticky. Alright. We're gonna break this one. You ready, Jake? I'll let you get comfortable first. It's a cover. It's not that complicated.
Covers are very complicated.
Give him a moment.
Okay, go.
Okay. Mr. Sticky. No one knew how Mr. Sticky got in the fish tank. He's very small, Mom said as she peered at the tiny water snail named Jake. He's just a black dot, just like Jake's penis. He'll grow, said Abby, and pulled her pajama bottoms down. Whoa, this got really meta. Jake's girlfriend's name is Abby. This shit got really meta. He'll grow, said Abby, and pulled her pajama bottoms up again before she got into bed. They were always falling down. Is this true? In the morning, Abby jumped out of bed and switched on the light in her fish tank. Jerry, the fat orange goldfish, who will be played by me, was dozing inside the stone arches, unless they have an octopus, in which case we have an octopus. Jaws was already awake, swimming along the front of the tank with his white tail floating and twitching. It took Abby near a while to find Mr. Sticky because he was clinging to the glass near the bottom, right next to the gravel. I will be replacing all instances of Mr. Sticky with Jake. At school that day, she wrote about the mysterious Jake who was so small you could mistake him for a piece of gravel. Some of the girls in her class said he seemed an ideal pet for her and kept giggling about it. That night, Abby turned on the light to find Mr. Sticky clinging to the... Damn it, I forgot to say. I apologize. That night, Abby turned on the light to find Jake clinging to the very tiniest, waviest tip of the pondweed. It was near the water filter, so he was bobbing about in the air bubbles. That looks fun, Abby said. She tried to imagine what it must be like to have to hang on to things all day and decided that it was probably very tiring. She fed the fish and lay on her bed and watched them chase each other round and round the archway. When they stopped, Cody began nibbling at the pondweed with his big, pouty African-American lips. Oh my god! He sucked Jake into his mouth and then blew him back out again in a stream of water. This shit's getting weird. The snail floated down to the bottom of the tank among the colored gravel, along with the rest of the plebs where he belonged. I think he's grown a bit, Abby told her mum at breakfast the next day. Just as well if he's going to be gobbled up like that, her mum said, trying to put on her coat and eat toast at the same time. But I don't want him to get too big or he won't be cute anymore. Small things are cute, aren't they? Literally what Jake's girlfriend says to Jake at every date. Yes, they are, but big things can be cute too, what all of Cody's exes have told them. Now hurry up, I'm going to miss my train. At school that day, Abby drew an elephant. I could have went a lot of different directions with that, I just went with elephant. She needed 2 pieces of expensive paper to do both ends, but the teacher didn't mind because she was pleased with the drawing and wanted it on the wall. They sellotaped them together? What the fuck is sellotaped?
I don't know, but if it's anything like spirit gum, you should probably stay the hell away from it.
I'm probably allergic. Right across the elephant's middle, in the corner of the picture, Abby wrote her full name, Abigail, and drew tiny snails for the dots on the eyes, thinking she was just the cleverest little shit that ever lived. At the weekend, they cleaned out the tank. There's a lot of algae on the sides. I'm not sure Jake is quite up to the job yet. What the fuck, Jake? You have one job.
I was too busy fucking with the pondweed.
They scoped the fish out and put them in a bowl. Yeah, scoped. They forgot to know. They quick scoped the fish out and 420'd them into a bowl that they were about to blaze and emptied out some of the water. Mr. Jake stayed out of the water, clinging to the glass while Mum used a special vacuum cleaner, in quotes, to clean the gravel. Abby trimmed the new pieces of pondweed down to size and scrubbed the archway and the filter tube. Mum poured new water in the tank. "Where's Jake?" Abby asked. "On the side," Mom said. She was busy concentrating on the water. "Don't worry. I was careful." Abby looked on all sides of the tank. There was no sign of the water snail. "I think your girlfriend's mom killed you."
Damn it.
"He's probably in the gravel then," her mom said. "Come on, let's get this finished. I've got work to do." She plopped the fish back into the clean water where they swam round and round, looking puzzled. That evening, Abby went up to her bedroom to check the tank. The water had settled and looked lovely and clear, but there was no sign of Jake. She laid on her bed and did some exercises. Okay. Stretching out her legs and feet and pointing her toes. Stretching was good for your muscles and made you look tall. Good for your muscles and made you look tall, a model had said on the TV, and she looked enormous.
That's my secret. I stretch every night before I
Every night. When Abby had finished, she kneeled down to have another look in the tank, but there was still no sign of Jake.
Damn. Hide and seek champion in 2014.
Please.
Second place Malaysian air flight.
Yeah. Her mom was in the study, surrounded by papers. She had her glasses on, and her hair was all over the place where she'd been running her hands through it. She looked impatient when she saw Abby in the doorway, and even more impatient when she heard the bad news. "He'll turn up." "Yes, he will. All day, day," was all she said. "Now off to bed, Abby. I've got masses of work to catch up on. A great big fiery mass of work to catch up on." Abby felt her face go hot and red. It always happened when she was angry or upset. "You've hoovered him up, haven't you?" she said. You were in such a rush, you hoovered him up. "Ya bitch."
I got hoovered.
"I have not. I was very careful. But he is extremely small." "What's wrong with being small?" "Nothing at all, but it makes things hard to find. Or notice." The door to the bedroom opened and Mum's face appeared around the crack. Abby tried to ignore her, but it was hard when she walked over to the bed and sat next to her. She was holding her glasses in her hand. She waved them at Abby. "These are my new pair," she said. "Extra powerful for dick hunting." She smiled at Abby. Abby tried not to smile back because she's a kid. "And I've got a magnifying glass," Abby suddenly remembered, and rushed off to find it. You do realize all the small stuff I talked about your dick, right? Like that. Okay.
Yeah.
Just making sure you knew that. That's what I was going for. They sat beside each other on the floor. Their knees, they shuffled around the tank, peering onto the corners of the big pebbles, the gravel, and the pondweed. "Ha ha!" Mom suddenly cried. "What?" Abby moved her magnifying glass to where her mom was pointing. There, tucked in the curve of the archway, perfectly hidden against the dark stone, sat Jake's penis. And right next to him was another small water snail, even smaller than him, and we're going to call him Joe.
Aptly named.
"Jake's penis," Abby breathed. "But where did he come from? I'm beginning to suspect that the pondweed, don't you think?" They both laughed and climbed into Abby's bed together, cuddling under the duvet.
The what?
The D-U-V-E-T.
The what?
The Duvet. It
Okay.
was cozy, but a bit of a squeeze. Budge up, Mum said, giving Abby a push with her bottom. I can't. I'm already on the edge. Needs some sunglasses. My goodness, you've grown then. When did that happen? You could have put an elephant in here last time we did this. Abby put her head on her mom's chest and smiled. And that's the end. So overall, I'm gonna have to rate this story a 7 out of 10. A lot of unresolved plot points and shitty grammar mistakes, some continuity errors. Like, where the fuck did the other snail come from? Are they waiting to the sequel for it to tell us that? What's the snail's backstory?
I think the other snail was from the pondweed.
So anyway, thanks for listening to Story Time. I hope you enjoyed. Leave comments and suggestions giving me other stories, and I will continue to read them for you. And him, sometimes. If I feel like it. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye-bye. Say bye, Jake.
Bye. I love you.